Órale, Cholo Trucker here, Los Tres Chingones Boxing Shots to all the chingones y chingonas, man. And here we are coming off the cuffs of the big fight. And I can't wait to talk about it, man, because I got to get my flowers on. But let's go ahead and let's bring in the chingones. We got an extra chingon today. We'll get to him in a second. First, let's go ahead and get into a gran chingon, el mero mero one, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, what's going on, Big Cholo? We got some good stuff to talk about, man. Can't wait. Let's bring the other two in. Let's rock and roll.
The scientist of the boxing ring. You can find him on Mikey TV. One, Mr. Mike Zavala.
What it is, gentlemen, I'm back. Just like Canelo, I'm injury free. My face is getting better. And from now on, you call me Mike Nello. Let's get it, baby.
Hey, the arms are getting a little. You didn't work out when you were sick, right? Oh no, you did.
Hey, come on, dude.
Oh man, you know what?
Popeye arms.
You know what? You
I
know what?
still got it. I'm like Canelo.
Yeah.
It's the Mexico meat and the eggs, Holmes. That's what it is. Eh? That's what it is. Hey man, we got a special a friend of the show jumping on from the west side of Texas. You guys can go find him, man, on D Style Boxing. My man, Mr. D Style.
D Style.
What's going on, Big D Style?
What's going on, big dog?
What's going on here from Texas? I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right, man. Let's do. Hey, first of all, real quick, man. El Paso, Texas. Is it a very, very proud Texan city like the rest of Texas is?
I would say it's definitely a proud Texas city for sure. Although we feel like we're like the stepchild. We're all the way west. You know what I mean? Everybody, we get kind of irritated when they call Midland like West Texas. Like that shit's in the middle of Texas. You know what I mean? We're real West Texas over here, but yeah, for sure. It feels like we're more New Mexico sometimes, but it's okay.
Okay. I've trucked it through Texas. I love trucking it through Texas, and when I go through El Paso, it's definitely a little bit of a different feel. Everywhere else in Texas I go is like super duper duper proud Texan, man.
Well, I mean, if I know what you mean now. So are we over here waving the Texan flag? Not really. We're not like that. I will say though, the food here is nothing like the rest of Texas. We're not no Tex-Mex dumb shit over here. Like the food in El Paso is very, very similar to the food in like Juarez, Mexico. It is Mexican food, like 100%.
Yeah. Going through El Paso, man, you see Mexico. I mean, it's right there, man. You see it. But gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into some boxing. Real quick, man, before we get into all the good stuff, let's just go ahead and get into this fight that's happening tomorrow. We're definitely going to get into, the weekend recap and all that stuff. But I want to kind of get this one out of the way as people start jumping on. And that is the fight tomorrow that's happening across the pond with Josh Warrington getting in there against Lee Wood. Not a lot of hype behind this fight. I'm actually kind of excited. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not doing backflips for it, but I'm definitely going to be tuning in, man. I'm expecting a pretty damn good fight on this one. David, what do you make of this fight, man?
You know what? I can't stand. I like Woods. I like Woods on this one. His opponent, I can't stand him. He's a cheater. He's a headbutter. When he fought, ¿cómo se llama? René. Venado. Dude, I mean, Venado kept talking about how he was hitting him in the legs. And you know what? I can't stand him. You know what? And even when Venado won, as he's coming down, that was when he fought Woods, I believe, as he's coming down, this guy starts taunting him. And I think Venado spit on him and he made a big deal over it. You know what? I hope he gets knocked out. I want Woods on this one.
I think that was Bronco that spit on him.
Mhm.
I think that was Bronco Mauricio.
Lara, yeah.
Yeah, Lara.
Oh, that he spit on Mauricio. It wasn't Venado.
Oh,
It
no,
was
no, no.
Mauricio Lara.
Okay, I'm getting it mixed up. Okay, I'm talking
Yeah.
Bronco spit on
Warrington.
Warrington. Yeah,
Warrington. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought I had it
So
the other way
apparently he was
around.
bad mouthing
Yeah.
his dad or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
can't
man.
stand that guy. Hope he gets knocked out.
Mikey,
He has a big enough head where you know what he can't miss, right?
hey, he's definitely got more than a forehead. That's for damn sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
definitely more than a forehead. Mikey, how you say you, big dog?
To tell you the truth, this fight went under the radar. I was too busy studying, dissecting, and watching the Canelo fight, and it took me out. And to tell you the truth, I'm not a big fan of those two guys. They both lost to the Mexican fighter, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah, no, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch it. I'm watching that Zurdo fight for sure.
Wow. Damn. Okay. In protest. Damn. D
Mhm.
style. This fight across the pond. Warrington.
I,
Woods. Should be a
I,
banger.
look, I like the fight, and Mikey's right. However, would avenge the loss of the Mexican in great fashion. He dominated Lara in the rematch, right?
Mhm.
Lara
Oh yeah,
came in. I don't even think Lara trained for that fight. I don't know what happened with Lara for that fight, but nonetheless, that's not Wood's fault. Um, but Wood, this should be a good fight. I got Wood too. I'm with David. I don't like the way Warrington fights. I think he's dirty. And I don't like it when people make excuses for guys like that. They'll say things like, "Well, he's not dirty. Just his head's just in the way." I mean, you shouldn't be leading with your head anyway. Like, what do you mean? What does that mean, right? Like every fight, this dude's head is in the way. All right. And I also don't like how he just keeps getting title shots without having to earn them. Like he gets shot after shot, he gets knocked out, and then he gets a shot against somebody else. And here he is again. He's coming off a loss with Bernal Lopez. He's going to get another shot. He wanted a shot at Lara like right after Lara knocked out Wood the first time they fought, and that's where it all started. Basically, I know there was some apparently Warrington had, I guess, said things about Lara's father, but I haven't really seen that. I don't know what that's about, but he was in the ring apron. He was talking shit, and then Lara was talking shit, and they were being held back, which is not hard to do with like dudes that are 5'4", or dudes kind of held back. And Lara, I guess, is he gonna get to him, just spit on him, right?
Mhm.
And he just doesn't like the guy. And when they asked him, "Did you spit on him?" He said, "Yes, I did, and I'll do it again." And he said, "I want him to do something about it." He said, but I like the fight, man. I think Wood should win, though. I think Wood will, as long as Wood stays on the outside, uses his jab, he should get this win for sure. But this is, I mean, I guess the reason we don't have a lot of buzz on this side is because it just feels like a regional UK fight. That's the feel I get. So it's going to be a big deal over there, though. It's like Sheffield against Leeds, and I guess they got a rivalry going over there, so it should be interesting.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what's on the line. It's not like there's anything like, hey man, the winner's gonna get some guy, on this side of the world or anything like that. But you're right. It just kind of seems like okay, that's just a rivalry for them to go ahead handle it over there on that side of the pond. Still good for me. I will be watching it. I think Wood should win this fight. Warrington gets a little bit sloppy. Um, don't get me wrong, Woods will exchange if needed. He is a warrior, man. He will definitely exchange. But Warrington, I mean, I'm with you guys, man. Same thing, dog. He's somewhat of a dirty fighter. I think he's gonna get a little bit too anxious, get a little bit dirty, start doing his, little dirty tactics in there. But Lee Woods, man, he should be able to jab him out and possibly even stomp him. However, I do see it going the distance. And look, they love Josh Warrington, man. The guy can't do anything wrong, but whatever he does, they love him. He sells over there. So, there you go. So,
Hey, you know what? I'm with JC. Put what he said right there. ¿Qué dice? Woods and Warrington, dos pendejos. I'm with him on that one.
to your honest.
And JC, no, right above that, he put that on there. JC always cracks me up, man.
Hey, man. So I want to go ahead and get that fight out of the way, man. I
Yeah.
would definitely. I'm going to be watching. That's for sure. Gentlemen, let's go ahead and break down the card that happened over the weekend with Canelo and Charlo. First, real quick, I just want to touch up on it because we did touch a little bit on it last Friday, and that is that Frank Sanchez did fight. He was in the prelims. He was the main event of the prelims, I guess, and in a pretty good, entertaining fight. Look, I was entertained. I thought the fight was pretty damn fun to watch. Do I see a great fighter in Frank Sanchez? No, I don't. But there are some fights I do want to see him, man. I do want to see him in there against Andy Ruiz. I would like to see him fight somebody like the Nightmare Areola. There are some fights I would like to see him in. I would never. I don't think he can compete against any of the top dogs. No, he could probably put up somewhat of a fight, but there are some fights I would like to see him in. David, how say you, man, when it comes to Frank Sanchez?
You know what? He got clocked pretty good in the first round. You know, he got clocked pretty good. He came back, and I love what I guess Eddie Reynoso. That's his new style. You hold him and you hit him. I saw Canelo doing the same, and he actually they're going to deduct a point from him. But you know, I think Andy Reese would kill him right now. I think I'd like to see him fight Torres from Tulare. I'd like to see him fight him or fight Babyface. I don't think he's ready for Andy Reese. I think Andy Reese will knock him out.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, Mikey.
I see it little bit different. Frank Sanchez has IQ, man. He has IQ. He's smart in the ring. He doesn't risk too much, and he does win in points. And if he takes the gamble, I mean, if he takes calculated gambles, he could knock you out, man. I think he will give Andy Reese a problem.
Really?
That's a good fight. I like that fight. It'll be a chess match. And I think he'll knock out Wilder. He'll set him up. He'll set up
Oh,
Wilder. He's too wild. Wilder doesn't have. You slow it down on Wilder. You make him play chess. You make him look. You'll knock him out, man. Especially now. And he's touched. Está tocado. He's touched. So you could throw him in there, but I don't think he could beat Fury. It'll be kind of like a boring fight versus Usyk, and I'll give Usyk the advantage, but it'll be a nice chess match if you're into that. Of course, we like boxing. We study the chess game, so we'll get intrigued. But for the average fans, they won't like it. It'll be boring. But I like Frank Sanchez, but he's boring. Keep it real.
Yeah.
okay. Wow, Frank versus Otto Wallin. Not bad. D-Style, Frank Sanchez, man, the up and coming. He's already 31. Although the guy looks like he's 39, man. Who knows? It's
Yeah.
Cuban fighters. We don't know the real age. Maybe he is really 31 and life hasn't treated him well, man.
I
I'll
don't
say
know,
you.
but
Correteado.
yeah, look, he looks like a well-taken care of 50-year-old right now. But like, here's the deal. He's a good fighter, skilled, like Mikey said, good ring IQ. But this is the wrong weight class to not have power. If there's one weight class where like you cannot get by without power, it's heavyweight. Because you're going to be at heavyweight, you're not fighting guys around your range. You're fighting dudes a lot smaller than you, a lot bigger than you, and guys your size, right? And he's not a very big heavyweight, so you need something to keep guys off of you. But look, he's good enough, at least with the level of opposition he's been fighting. There might be an open door for him to contend for a title because I don't know how much longer. Like, he's about to make like almost $200 million this year, and if he becomes undisputed, he might retire. Like, I don't think like why stick around. If Usyk wins or loses, well, he's already in his late 30s. He's on his way out. Usyk's older than people think. And then you have Wilder. How long is he going to be around? Right? Anthony Joshua is kind of on his way out a little bit. So if he hangs on for another 2-3 years, there's going to be some openings to maybe fight for a title, believe it or not, for Frank Sanchez. But I don't think he'll ever. He might fight for a title, but I don't think he'll ever win a title. I do think he gives Andy Ruiz some issues, but I do think Andy Ruiz would break him down. Quite frankly, in my opinion, I just don't think he'll be able to handle I think Ruiz, as long as he comes in shape, of course, in decent shape, right? As long as Andy doesn't look like a walrus again, he should be all right. I think he wins that fight. And yeah, That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You know what? You brought up a good point. It doesn't have to be Frank Sanchez right now going to the top because I don't think he can make it to the top. But as long as he stays active and keeps fighting and keep reminding people, like, hey, remember, I'm still here waiting in the wings. Who knows how long these other guys are going to be sticking around? Fury looks like he's not too old, but at the same time, he's not really that active. He's making a lot of money. He shows up with the WWE as well. He can have that avenue over there, and maybe he's gonna say like, "Hey, I'm out of here." So yeah, we'll see what happens with Frank Sanchito, man. Hey, getting to the pay-per-view card, man. We had Elijah Garcia versus Jose Resendiz, 160-pound fight. I was saying, hey, this Elijah Garcia kid, 20 years old, undefeated, is a kid to look out for. Resendiz went in there, gave him one heck of a damn good fight, man. It was an 8-round, I think it was an 8th round stoppage. I thought it was a pretty damn good fight, and I thought it set the tone for the rest of the night, which the tone kind of toned down a little bit. But David, what'd you make about the Jose Resendiz versus Elijah Garcia fight?
You know what? I had never heard of Elijah Garcia, and
Mhm.
I'll tell you, I was impressed. I was impressed. I like that kid fighting at 160. He's a big kid. He's strong. And you know what? He got hit pretty hard several times, but you know what? He took it like a man and came back and stopped him. I like this kid. And you know what? He says that in a year he'll be fighting for a championship. You know what? The 160 division right now, it's very weak, and I hope he does. And if he doesn't, I see him at least in 2 years. If he continues the progress that he's doing, I see him without a doubt being a champion. I was impressed, and to me, that was the fight of the night. That fight should have been the pre-fight before the main event.
Mm.
I loved it. It was a good fight. I enjoyed it. I like this kid.
Okay. Okay. All right. Mikey, two guys went in there, not really superstars or anything like that, but hey, man, they knew they were on a pay-per-view card, their time to shine, and they went in there and put on the show, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Dave said, I never heard of Elijah Garcia. I didn't see the whole fight. I saw the highlights. I was and he looked good. He looked good. He looked good. Um, but I gotta see more. But he got that dub, and he's a big kid. So we'll see at 160.
And you know what, Cholo? He's our friend in Facebook. He immediately accepted us and sent us a thank
Mm.
you. So I sent him a little, hey, you did a great job. Looking forward to your next fight. Right away, he said thank you. And so he's our friend now in Facebook. So we're going to start definitely looking at him in future fights.
That's why we're here, man, to make nothing but pure friends.
Well,
If you look at boxing across YouTube, we're all just a bunch of friends. Que no style. What do you make of
That's
this
right.
fight, brother?
Well, I have a funny story about Elijah Garcia.
Mm.
About It's been almost 2 years, I believe. If you guys look up HCP 99. I actually interviewed him. He was 10-0 at the time. He was a prospect. I don't know who he was, but a friend of mine, DJ Machika, reached out and she said, "Hey, my cousin, uh, I think she said fiance or was his boyfriend at the time. You know, the baby daddy. You know, he's a boxer. Do you think you could get him on the show?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? Right? I'll talk to anybody, right?" So we brought him on, and then it turns out I knew the trainer that works with him, and I interviewed him, and at the time I thought, man, this is a great kid. It wouldn't be something if he made it. And then a couple weeks later, I saw like a headline that he got signed with PBC. Like, okay, and then I've been kind of following him since then, and I'm telling you, I won good money with him betting him by knockout, and because the odds makers have not they've been giving good odds with him if he won by knockout in this fight as well. Um, I kind of knew he was going to beat up Resendez. Resendez is a good fighter, but I just thought he was going to be overwhelmed, just like we saw. And the one thing about Elijah, he also has a really good jab, which he didn't even need in this fight. And I hope he could showcase it in some other fights down the line. But really good fighter, and I think he is a future world champion. I don't know about next year because we just don't know how the boxing landscape is sometimes. You know what I mean? But I would say at least 2, 3 years. That's what I would rather do with him. Develop him a little bit more, and he'll be ready. And he's got really good boxing skills. He's got hella power. His combinations of the body and the head are really good. Like he looks like a
Yeah.
polished, like veteran with the combination. So, and I agree. I think he stole the show. And I wish he was in a pre-May. It would have been better for everybody, but it is what it
Oh
is.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, this fight was pretty damn good. Elijah, 20 years old, a lot of work to do with this kid. Okay. There's definitely holes in his game, which is fine. That's 100% fine. The kid, he's only 16 fights in, I believe, 6-0. So there's a lot of work to do with this kid. But I do see some good stuff in him, man. Definitely needs to work a little bit on his defense and get his patience, you spread out his patience a little bit more. He doesn't need to be exchanging and getting a little bit too wild if he doesn't need to. At one point, I mean, he looked like he had the fight under control, and then at one point he kind of loses a little bit of control of the fight. But nonetheless, man, I'm just kind of splitting hairs here on him. But I do like Elijah Garcia. I do want to see him fight again. And I think he made fans of people that had no idea who he was. And now people are going to look forward to his next fight. So, can he live up to this, right? It doesn't need to be stoppages all the time, but as long as he's going to bring a good, exciting fight, which he can, without putting himself through the ringer, hey man, have at it. But Elijah Garcia, I like this kid, man. I really do. Only 20 years old. So let's keep that in mind. We don't need to be pushing this kid saying like, oh man, he needs to be up there. We need to start putting him in there with some of the top dogs at 160. And in reality, 160 is kind of cooling off a little bit. There's not like a lot of major killers at 160. So you give it about, if this kid stays active, right, which I'm hoping he does, you give it about 2 years. If he's fighting, say, heck, I don't know, 3 times a year at least, right? 3 times a year. That's 6 more fights. Then you get into the third year. Who knows, man? This kid can have some pretty damn good experience where we can actually start putting him in some pretty good deeper waters. So, I hope to see some good things of Elijah Garcia. Is he the next big thing? I don't know, but he's definitely somebody to keep an eye out for. So that's where I would put it. But
The only thing, just really quick, the only thing I will say, Cholo, is this. So I know what you're saying as far as he got caught up in some exchanges, but I think
mhm,
I don't think that's a bad thing. I like
mhm,
maybe he doesn't stop him if he just keeps boxing him. Like sometimes you got to put it on a guy, and Mexican fight fans like guys like que se va a fajar. But they want to see that. They want to see a guy that brings it. They don't want to see what we saw in the co-main,
right.
if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that doesn't mean, of course, he's only 20 years old and he's only going to get better. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to his career.
Yeah, yeah, so am I, man, and you're absolutely right. When you can exchange, man, and get the better of it, hey, handle it, bleed a little bit, but that'll definitely give you the fan base, man, and make people want to watch your next fight. So, unlike somebody else that we're going to talk about later on, but let's get in to the second fight, man. I told you, I I consider myself to be a humble guy, man. I don't really like to rub people's face and anything, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, hey man, and screw all that, Holmes. Cause sabes que? I said it. I know I said because I was sitting right here when I said it, Holmes. I said Mario Barrios is gonna put it to your Danny's Ugas. Nobody believed me. I felt so alone, so lost. You guys left me out in the middle of the ocean, Holmes, without a raft, without a buoy, nothing, dog. Everybody just jamming away in the boat, just laughing, waving. Well, guess what? I'm on a yacht now, Holmes. All right.
Castaway. You were Castaway. You had Wilson instead of volleyball, it's a boxing glove.
Hey, man, 28-year-old Mario Barrios, who I think there's only a second fight at 147 pounds. Now, again, I don't want to exaggerate. I put a video out earlier this week talking about Barrios. I'm not going to exaggerate and say this guy is going to be the guy at 147. No, 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 not at all. Okay, he only has 2 losses. All right, one to Tank and one to Keith Thurman. But at 147, this guy is filled up. He's not really draining himself to make the weight anymore. And by the way, a lot of those fights down there, they were above 140 pounds. He was fighting at catch weights 141, 142, 143. So, to make 140, it was struggling for this guy, man. And then he had a rehydration clause on him as well. Going in there again, Keith Thurman, there it is, man, right? But no, I think this guy has somewhat of a promising career. Again, I don't want to exaggerate and say this guy is gonna be the guy. No, I don't. I'm not saying that. But look, this guy can make some waves, man. David, talk to me, man.
You know what, Joe? You remind me of. Remember that one movie? What was it called? Me, myself, and it was Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah, Me, Myself, and Irene.
Where's this?
It was when the guy Jim Carrey goes out and he steals the luggage and he tells her, "Hey, listen, do I have a chance for you?" She goes, "Yeah, 1 out of 1,000,000." And he goes,
Dumb and
1 out of
Dumber.
1,000,000, I have a chance. Holmes, you hit 1 out of 100. You hit 1 out of 100. We go back in episodes where you were saying things that they never happened, but you hit 1 out of 100. ¿Y sabes qué? More power to you, but I still do not believe that that Barrios is a threat at 147. Not even close. I mean, I don't see him being a threat at 147. I mean, I made the mistake because for whatever reason, I thought the old Ugas was going to be there, but you know what Ugas has done? Ugas has done. Anybody could have done that to him. I mean, his eye, within the second, third round, it's starting puffing up. And you know what? And I'm just telling you, I don't see him as a big threat, but I think Ugas definitely needs to retire. Ugas, I got bored with the fight. I actually went in my closet and I was sweeping out my closet, cleaning my closet. And then I came back and they were still fighting. I go, orale, still fighting. And then I think it was the 10th round when they kept calling in the doctor. And then I was sitting here thinking, man, stop the fight, because you could tell that his eye was completely closed. And you know what? That guy definitely needs to retire because that's his weakness now. And you know what? People are going to capitalize on it. And I hope he has enough money saved up where he can definitely retire because he wasn't the same fighter that he was prior to Spence.
His weakness is called El Azteca Barrios. That's his weakness, man. D-Style, I'll switch it to you, Holmes. What'd you make about this fight, man? Am I tripping?
Well, first of all, I just want to show my winnings, okay? I don't know if you guys could see. There we go.
There
all right.
It is.
I bet Mario Barrios. All right.
Uh-huh.
I bet 61, 177. So there you go. How much did you bet, Cholo?
I didn't bet, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a betting man.
You start betting. You need to start betting.
And of course,
you know what? I'm probably gonna buy a lottery ticket though. How about that?
Okay, there you go. There you go. No, but I will say though, it was a good pick. We should give you your credit. I thought Barrios was a good bet, but I did officially pick Ugas. It is what it is. But here's the thing. The fight was actually good for the first few rounds, and it started getting uncomfortable to watch. I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like the guy can't see. He can't see Barrios' punches coming to save his life. And it's a fight that we know is pretty decent defensively. I mean, like Pacquiao was having a hard time hitting him. So Mario Barrios, right, is hitting like, he's batting 800 on this dude, right? We got an issue here. The doctor asked the ref, what do you think? Like, you're the doctor, bro. Could you imagine you go see the doctor and then, like, I don't know, there's some random dude there and he asked him about you. Like, I don't know what's wrong with him, man. What do you think? Like, you're not going to trust that doctor, bro. It doesn't matter what that doctor says, right? But I don't know, man. Uga should retire. That doctor should retire. I don't know what he was saying. And also, look, I like Ismael Salas. He's a tremendous trainer, but terrible judgment keeping him in the ring. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, quite frankly. After the fight, he keeps telling him, "You're a warrior," but dude, like you should thinking about the fight. The dude was out on his feet.
He
At
was.
the end of
Yes,
the
he
fight.
was. Yeah.
Barrios went to like embrace him, and he was like out of it, And I'm just thinking to myself, man, like, and I was watching a fight with a friend. She's a fighter, and she actually told me, like, this is the type of fight where he's probably gonna pass out in the back because he was just taking unnecessary damage, and he couldn't see those shots coming. And the fact that Barrios is not a monster puncher actually makes it worse because he just took the beating for several rounds. If Barrios could actually crack, he would have knocked him because any other welterweight in the top 10 would have knocked him out, right?
Yeah.
And for that reason, I don't think Barrios really has anything. I know Barrios saying he's ready for Boots. I guess you're gonna feed him to Boots. You know what I mean? Like, it is like he's gonna get fed to Boots. And I like Barrios. He has a good attitude.
Good.
Barrios, like, he's good for like Friday night solo boxeo. Give us some good fights. That's Mario Barrios. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, PBC put him up there like, oh, this is the Aztec warrior. Like, he's like the representation of Mexican boxing in order to sell like the tank fight and then of course the fight with Thurman and to put him on this card. But I mean, in our reality, I mean, I'll say this as nicely as I can. PBC has built him up to basically be a jobber for some of their stars, right? He was not supposed to win this fight, right? And they didn't put him in there against Thurman to win. They didn't put it, and they Tank fought him because he was the easy pick into the division. So it just is what it is, right? He's like the Brooklyn Brawler welterweight right now. He has a job to do. He's going to do it with Boots.
Okay. All right, man.
Mikey. What about Mikey?
Yeah, Mikey, break it down. Am I tripping over here? I mean, come on, man. Barrios went in there and took it to Ugas.
Yeah. Oh, and Dave and the part Dave's saying is when it's Dumb and Dumber when he told
oh yeah, that's that part.
Yeah, he told the girl, how can a girl like me and a guy like you, well, 1 in a million? So you're saying I got a chance? And yeah, that was funny. So that's where you got it from.
Funny.
Yeah. So Ed and Dave and Dista, I did not say that Barrios wasn't gonna win. I gave you the two sides of the story of the coin. I think what Spence took his soul. He took a beating. It's better to get knocked out than to take a beating and get stopped, whatever. But take a beating, mostly the whole fight. And I think he took his soul. We're gonna see if he's the same Ugas, and it wasn't the same Ugas. And you don't want to take credit against Barrios. Hey, he trained for the fight. Why they signed the fight? And they like you guys said, we thought Ugas was the favorite. Even though Heyman will tell you that. But Mario Barrios looked good, man. Combinations, good legs. His jab was phenomenal, man. That jab will give people trouble. Wherever he fights, he'll give someone trouble. Is he the favorite? Is he this? But how he's fighting and that spirit he has, he's coming up with a good stoppage. He'll give somebody trouble, man. Is he favored? Is he? Oh my God, no. But this kid is improving, man. And he's fighting in the outside. He has great legs, like I said, and I loved his jab. He has a great jab, and that's a key for offense and a key for defense. So, Ed, I'll give you credit, but you got to put money on it. But no, man, I like what I saw. I want to see more.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, how about that? How about just do you want to see his next fight? Because I do.
I'm down.
I want to see his next fight.
But let's be honest. Mm-hmm. When you hear he's going to fight Boots, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Who?
I favor Boots.
Like, they throw him in the ring with Boots. Like, are we going to see those great combinations giving Boots like problems, or what
I would say that
I got something to say.
I think he gives Boots a little bit of a good fight, but no way do I think he beats Boots. No, I think
he goes out in 5 against Boots.
Yeah.
And Boots has trouble when fighters that have movement and fight in the outside. Remember when Boots fought that Armenian dude? That Armenian dude wasn't banging like the Argentinian dude that he fought, or the last fight. Boots looked phenomenal. He looked like better than whoever in the game. He got that sensational knockout. If you fight Boots in the outside and use your legs, you will give him trouble. And plus, he's long. He has a good jab. he will get in trouble. I'm not saying he's better than Boots, and Boots fighting might knock him out. But remember, Boots has trouble, and he did a lot of mistakes. He used to cross his feet, off balance, shooting shots that you don't supposed to shoot. When he fought that Armenian guy, that Russian Armenian guy that was fighting him from the outside. So that's what Barrios is gonna do. He has good legs. He has a good jab. He's long.
I would say this. I would say this, D. I would say this real quick, man. Maybe he does finish him in 5 rounds, but I don't think he dominates him in all the 5 rounds. I think Barrios does have a few good rounds. Does that really mean anything? Probably not, because he's still gonna finish him.
He didn't finish that Armenian guy. He didn't finish that Armenian dude.
Hey guys, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Barrios' coach, what was his name? What's his name? His trainer, the one that was up there with him.
I don't know his name.
Oh, well, you know what?
Yeah.
He
was a little
started.
surprised.
Well, he started with Salas in Miami.
Yeah, they have beef.
Yeah, I guess they had an ugly departure, and they hate each other now. I've seen that guy train other fighters, and he's never been so excited. I mean, he was literally like if he won the fight. I don't know if you saw at the very end when they were taking the picture, he literally
Bob Santos
back, puts his arms up. You know what I mean? Bob Santos. I've never seen him act like that. He was acting like Oscar de la Hoya on a pound of coke. You know what I mean? I have never seen him. He's always a humble man. But did you guys know that? Was it just me watching this guy literally yelling, fuck you, and wah, wah, wah. And then at the end, when he raised his arms up, I mean, is it just me looking at that, or did you guys notice that? Did you notice?
There's some beef. I heard there's beef. I heard there's some beef, and that now that you bring it up, Dave, I was listening to a podcast, and yeah, they used to work together with the Cuban dude, and there's something happened, and there was beef, and Santos was he that when he got, man, he rubbed it in, and yeah, that's the what I heard.
Yeah, I just want to.
So that's why he was so excited. Yeah, because I've never seen him act like that. Yeah.
Go for it, D.
I was going to say, speaking of the Argentine guy, I would pick him over Barrios. Romain Villa, the guy that beat Rashid Alias, right? And I think he did give Boots a good fight. I would pick him over Barrios, to be honest with you. I would pick Rashid Alias over Barrios.
I pick everybody over Barrios.
Okay, man. Okay.
The Argentinian, you know what? I'll give you that D style, but Ellis, nah, come on, man.
I think I would beat some.
Mario Barrios. Yeah. Mario Barrios. It's us against the world, Holmes. I'm with you. I'm with you, homie. It's you and I against the world.
He does look like El Gallo Negro from.
He does. Yeah, dog. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, let's move on to the co-main event. I don't know how much time you guys want to spend on that, but let's go ahead and talk about it. On paper, this looked like it was probably going to be the best fight of the night, probably even stealing the show from the main event, man. Everybody was talking about this fight, Mono Ramos against Erickson Lubin. I thought the same thing. I thought it was going to be one heck of a damn good fight. It was a sleeper. There was a controversial win. I was doing a live watch fight party, man. The chat started going a little bit crazy. I personally, myself, I don't really have a problem with Lubin winning. Who do I think won the fight? I thought Ramos won the fight. But do I think he won the fight in a way where I'm like, no, Charlie, this was robbery. No, I don't think it was a robbery, man. Honestly, I wouldn't have been too upset had they just been a draw. I'd be like, cool, draw. Let's move on to the main event, man. I did not like this fight. This fight was a damn sleeper for me. You guys are in the co-main event of a big fight, and not a lot of action, man. Not a lot going on. And for Mono Ramos, a young up-and-coming undefeated fighter, this is your time to shine, man, and do something. And you didn't really do too much, but I'll pass it on to you first, Mikey.
Mikey.
Yo, can you hear me?
Okay, we got you, Mikey. We got you.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
We got you.
Yeah, man, that fight was boring, man. I don't even know who won. I know that if I can't have trouble sleeping before I go to work tomorrow or on Monday, I'm gonna watch that fight and I'm gonna get a good nine hours of sleep. That was a snoozer. It was boring. Forget NyQuil. Just turn on that fight, go on YouTube, and you'll fall asleep, man. It was boring. And that kid Ramos, he was talking trash about Canelo. Come on, man. Talking about the king. Watch out, man. He's done. He's boring. I'm not watching it no more.
Okay. All right. D-Style, what's your thoughts on this co-main event, man, that on paper everybody was saying this is going to be the fight to watch?
Look, I don't know what he said about. I interviewed Ramos. He had nothing but nice things to say about Canelo, but I don't know. Maybe it was some other time. Look, Ramos said he wanted to be on the co-main. He said he wanted to win over the Mexican crowd. He says, he wants to be like a big name, right? And he has dreams of being future Hall of Fame, future world champion, future Hall of Famer, like all those things. But I don't know what, after the 6th round, I don't know what the hell his corner was thinking. And they literally tell him, hey, calm down. We don't got to go for the knockout. Just, relax. And basically told like that. And then you're up by 6 rounds. Don't even worry about it. And the crowd's booing. Is that like, I know that's not what you wanted. Because even if you win that fight, they're booing the fight. Like they don't care. Like, you both lost. We're the losers, right? Because we're watching it, right? No one's getting put to sleep except us, right? A fighter should be getting put to sleep. You're supposed to be trying to put the other one to sleep, not us, right? Like, so I just didn't like the fight. Lubin, I guess, did what he had to do to win, but he wasn't doing much either. No. He just wasn't. They got to do something about the holding, man. Like I get that. Yeah, Canelo did some crafty things in there, but Canelo would hold Charlo for like a second or two, then let him go, and then hit him with a body shot or something, or an uppercut. Holding that is just done to stall the action and wait till the ref breaks it up, right? Is a type of holding they need to get rid of in boxing. It just makes fights boring and nobody wants to see it. You want to go hold? Go. Hey, there's other combat sports you could hold all you want. You could do Greco-Roman wrestling. You could do Muay Thai. You could do MMA. Go over there. You want to hold. Like I don't want to see it in boxing. That's just my opinion. But it was definitely a very, very disappointing performance. I know Ramos is better than that. I know Ramos could knock out Lubin if he kept pressuring him and kept going to the body and was, and forced Lubin into exchanges, because I know Lubin would end up doing that. Ramos is a guy that dominated Mendoza. Mendoza's about to fight Tim Tszyu. Like, this win would have put him in a position to fight Tim Tszyu next year. He would have been in that position to do it. And now you're not there. Now you lost to Lubin. And not only did you lose, everyone's going away saying, I don't know, do I really want to see this guy fight? That fight was kind of boring. So that's a double loss. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, you're in the same boat as Jermell. It's just, the only good thing I could say about it is this. He's young. He's only 22 years old. He should learn from this. And maybe moving forward, his corner's not going to tell him, oh, you don't got to go for a knockout. You just relax. Just take your time. I don't know what type of advice that was. That's not how you fight against a Lubin. Lubin was getting confidence as the fight went on because he was wondering why he wasn't getting pressured, right? There was times I saw Ramos in front of him and like not throwing punches, and neither was Lubin. It was like bizarre. Like, you're in front of each other. You're not doing anything. I don't know. I hated the fight. It's unfortunate, but hopefully the young kid learns from this. And moving forward, fights like the Ramos I've been seeing, the guy that went in there and destroyed Spencer, right? The guy that dominated the Mendoza fight, that Ramos, the one that was putting dudes to sleep. I want to see that Ramos again. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. David?
I was totally wrong on that one. I mean, I was a guy that was saying, you know what, it's going to be Fundora, Lubin, 3. You know what I mean? 2. It's going to be a continuation. And I'm the guy that said, you know what, first round, they're not even going to test each other. they're going to go at each other, because I was looking at that same Ramos that beat Mendoza and that beat Joey Spencer. So I was thinking it was going to be that same guy. I'll tell you, I'm not looking forward to his next fight. The guy literally put me to sleep, just like Mikey Lubin. I mean, what happened to him? I mean, that Fundora fight, I mean, from round one, when we saw that fight, I mean, it was a rock'em sock'em robots, man. It was a great fight. I'm highly disappointed. Ramos should really consider getting another coach, get another training team, because the advice they were giving him, like they said, after the 6th round, he just basically skated. It was another Oscar de la Hoya against Trinidad. The last 3-4 rounds, he gave them away. And you know what? I'm not looking forward. I mean, they give this guy an opportunity to fight. I mean, in one of the biggest fights of the year, and he's a co-main event. I mean, you would have thought he would have went in there, man, ready to knock somebody out, but instead it backfired on him. And that's too bad, because both of them, I mean, I was looking forward to it, not looking forward to his next fight.
Yeah, yeah, man. And if it's a controversial decision and they want to do a rematch, ooh, man, good luck selling that one, because
Exactly.
not,
Yeah.
not really sure. It's probably
Yeah.
going to have to be in the undercard of some other fight, man, because just to sell that one by itself, probably not going to sell. Gentlemen, we've made our way to the main event, and there's a lot of news that's coming out with this. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Canelo versus Canelo-Charlo, straight out of the Lion's Den, Holmes. Canelo-Charlo cannot get away from all the scrutiny that he's facing. He definitely lost the fight. All right. There's the talks about, hey, Canelo was on a decline. He's on decline. He's on decline. And he said, like, no, you know what? I was injured. I'm back. You're going to see, Canelo back in action the way, you were used to seeing Canelo. It's just that I was hurt. I'll start with you, D-Style. What did you see in the fight, man?
Well, what I saw is round one, I think it was, Canelo landed a body shot on this dude, and this guy decided, yeah, I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I think he felt something that he never felt before is what happened. And I think a lot of fighters, they maybe it's just like a lot of things must go through their head when they're fighting like Canelo, like someone at that level, right? Like, I mean, my money's guaranteed. I'm gonna make a lot of. I could always go back. Like, he started negotiating with himself. Like, maybe I could go back down anyway. I'll just say it was in my weight class. Like, like I think a lot of that was going through his head. His own trainer was telling him, like, "Yo, you're just gonna stand there and be a punching bag, or you got to push this guy back." Well, now that's easier said than done, but you at some point you do need to back up Canelo if you have any chance of winning. Even Floyd backed him up, right? Bivol backed him up at times. There was times where Bivol had to put punches together and back up Canelo, right? You can't just lay back and quote unquote box Canelo. It's just not going to work. What I saw was a more skilled fighter beating another fighter. I didn't see a size difference. I think they probably weighed the same. If not, Jamal was probably heavier on fight night, quite frankly. I don't buy this whole notion that Canelo was just too big for him. I just don't. I saw a fighter that couldn't deal with the moment, couldn't deal with the fighter in front of him. And after all the years that I had to hear, Lions only, Canelo's running scared, Canelo's fighting over there at Matchroom because he doesn't want to fight the Charlos and all this other stuff. I saw this coming since the press conferences, and I don't like to make a lot of the press conferences. I don't. But the energy of Charlo was so different with Canelo than it was with other dudes. All of a sudden, he wasn't talking trash. He was wearing a sweater in the middle of the summer, right, at a press conference. He must have been feeling the chills, right? He couldn't stop kissing Canelo's ass, and Canelo said it best. He said, this dude's acting fake, and if he thinks it's just being nice to me, then I'm not going to try to knock his head off. He's got another thing coming. In a nutshell, that's what Canelo said. Try to be nice. It's not going to matter. You've been talking shit for years. Like, what happened to Bitch Nello? What happened to the Instagram post you made saying you put him in the ring with me? I beat him up. Oh, he's easy picking. So he just struggled against Ryder. Well, Ryder did better than you. Like, you know what I mean? Like Ryder actually stood in the pocket in exchange with Canelo at times. Like, because that's what you need to take risk if you want to beat Canelo. Like, you just have to. This is a guy that took no risk, and I'm highly disappointed. I actually picked this fight by knockout because I felt somewhere in the middle of the fight, he was going to grow some cojones and realize that if I have any shot to win, I'm going to have to sell out here. I'm going to have to go at him, and he never did. I just think he was overwhelmed. I think he felt the body shot. And one more thing, I think it was round 8. Jermell finally landed like a really good right hand on Canelo, and Canelo like just put his arms down in front of him. Like, his posture, even like his shoulders went down, and he just looked at him like, "Motherfucker, that's it," you know, and. Jermell backed up, bro. Like at that moment, he knew, like, I can't even hurt this dude. I finally landed the money shot and did nothing to him. Nothing. Right? So, as far as Canelo, I don't put any blame on Canelo. I think he was trying to fight. He was stalking the guy the whole fight. Jermell just didn't bring it. It is what it is. And quite frankly, I think his stock went down after this fight, not up.
Okay. All right. David, you and I were doing a watch fight party together. You're the one that pointed out that Canelo was not sitting down on his corner, man. What how say you?
You know what? The last time I saw Canelo do that was when he fought Julio Chavez Jr. He did not sit down throughout the whole fight. And you know what? He was doing it again. And that's psychological warfare on Charlo, because you could saw Charlo kept looking up and Canelo standing there talking to Eddie Reynoso. But you know what? That's why there's weight classes, and that's why there's levels to boxing. And I think that I think Charlo gave it his best. But I agree with D-Style. After that first round with that left hook to the body, he felt it, and then I don't know if you and I were calling it when Canelo kept going for the arms. I mean, he's breaking down his arms, and you know what? I mean, the Canelo went after his arms, then he started going back to the body, then he started going back for the chin. You know what? Charlo did not want anything to do with it because he's never been in with somebody like with Canelo's power and skills. And you know, a lot of people are saying that Charlo gave up. I don't think he did. You know what? These guys, they have a lot of heart, and I don't think he sold himself out. I just think that he was overboxed, and Canelo was over skilled for him. And I think Canelo really is back. I think that the other fights that we saw where I don't know about the tiredness. He did something that he's never done before. He actually trained at a high level up in Lake Tahoe. So maybe that helped him, because I didn't see him like other fights. After the 8th round, he actually leans back against the ropes. I didn't see it this time. He kept going at him. And I don't agree with everybody that's saying that Charlo gave up. No, I think Charlo tried his best, but his best was just not good enough. Canelo is back, and Canelo looked great. And I can't wait to see him fight David Benavidez next on Cinco de Mayo. Be a sellout.
All right. Well, we'll get to that, man.
Easy work.
My man, what'd you see, Holmes?
The king of boxing, the face of the pound for pound, the Uno is back. All these haters that were talking trash that Canelo's, he lost it, all this and that. He was injured for the last 3 fights. He was injured. He still won the fights, unanimous or easy work. I don't get it. Even that Canelo will beat Benavidez, aka Benachichis. Oh man, the things that I saw in this fight, like they said, he didn't sit down. He was in great shape. I like how he cut the distance, how he was stalking Charlo psychologically. If you watch the Triple G versus Canelo Part 1, that's how Triple G was cutting the ring on Canelo, just stalking him and having that like that type of swagger, just stalking him like a lion on his prey. And he was the real lion. And if you see that Canelo, you see Triple G. He got it from that Triple G first fight. He got that from Triple G, and that psychologically got Charlo. Man, Canelo, his jab was phenomenal. His defense was phenomenal. Body shots, overhand rights, straight shots. He gave him the plethora of shots. He looked phenomenal. Canelo is back. Benavidez, he's tailor-made for Canelo, man.
Yes.
What the things I saw on Charlo, man, what he was doing, and it did kind of work. But then Canelo adjusted. He was countering Canelo. He was catching and shoot. When Canelo threw something, boom, he's catching, shooting, or getting hit, and boom, shooting back. But Canelo adapted to that, and that's when Canelo went for more fakes. And then they were saying, "Oh, Canelo doesn't throw combinations." You don't do that when a guy's trying to counter you or trying to shoot, catch and shoot. You throw fakes and you throw one or two shots because after that, Jermell was trying to grab him, so he doesn't have a lot of time to work. And another thing, the reason the knockout didn't come, well, it was coming. It was the beginning of the end. The referee didn't let Canelo work. He didn't let Canelo work. Every time Canelo was working on the inside, hey, what are you doing? Hey, don't do that. He didn't let Canelo work. The referee was saving Charlo, man. Um, yeah, that's one of the things I got mad at the ref. Like, hey, what are you doing? Let him work. In other fights, we've seen fighters work in the inside. We've seen fighters push and you know what I mean, create space. He didn't let that. Plus, Charlo was just grabbing him. So Canelo didn't throw a lot of combinations because he didn't have a lot of time. Plus, he was getting countered, and you're not going to throw combination when you get countered. He won every round. I think he lost one in the judges. For how I seen it, easy work. Canelo didn't really need to change his game plan because everything worked. He got a unanimous decision, easy work. He dropped him. This guy don't belong in the same sentence with Canelo, man. I can't wait for the Benachichis fight. I don't know if you've seen the highlights right now. He's over like 200 something pounds right now. He's really a cruiserweight. And no one could beat Canelo right now, man. No one could beat Canelo. He looked phenomenal, man. He's back.
Yeah, man. Okay. Well, you guys pretty much touched on everything on this fight. I just want to go ahead and say this, that for Canelo-Charlo, it's not so much that you lost the fight. It's how you lost the fight, man. Why you're getting ripped apart, man. I mean, he can't get away from all the scrutiny. It's like, you guys, you and your brother have been calling this dude out for years. You came out and said that at 154, you'll stop Canelo at 168. Okay. There you are. There's your chance. There it is to have it, man. You get knocked down. You have your coach coming out after the fight talking about that. Hey, man, Charlo won the first 4 rounds. What are you talking about? He did not win the first 4 rounds. If he even won a round, you want to give him a round? You want to give him 2? That's fine. Giving him 2 is generous.
It's
But
generous.
he did not win 4 rounds in that fight, dog. And these Euro bums that Canelo's been fighting did a heck of a better job in fighting Canelo than you did, man. Wow, what a disappointment in the performance in Canelo-Charlo. Now there's talks about he wants to go back down to 154 because that's where he's at. I came out and I said he is not going down to 154. Now, where do I stand on that now? Now that he made that proclamation that he's going down to 154, it's been a minute that he's made that weight. It has been a minute. If there's a Terrence Crawford fight for him down there, maybe I see him doing that. But outside of that, I still don't think he goes down to 154. It's been quite a while since he's made 154. I probably see him going to 160. I do not think he's going to go fight Tim Tszyu. Look, apparently he doesn't have all 4 straps anymore. Did they ever enforce that? I'm not really sure.
They did. They did.
Okay.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, he don't have the 4 straps. He lost one.
Okay. Okay. I still don't think. Yes, I understand he came on and said, yeah, he's going back down to 154. Big dog, you have not been at 154 in quite a while, man. You haven't had a fight in quite a while. I think you're not gonna go down to 154. There's nothing down there for you. You don't want that Tim Tszyu fight. If you wanted that Tim Tszyu fight would have happened. I still don't think it happens. If it does, hey, a toda madre, man. I'll come on and say, like, hey, I was wrong. He went down to 154 and he made that fight. But outside of a Terrence Crawford fight, which Terrence Crawford already came out and said he's not interested anymore. Now, is he just saying that? I don't know. Maybe. I think that fight does sell. I think Terrence Crawford is kind of looking for this Canelo fight, which to me, it's kind of the sad pace in boxing because I think people do pay for that fight. But I don't think that's really the fight I really want to see. But as far as Canelo, what's next for him? Well, look, man, there is supposed to be a fight. I still don't see that it's 100% done deal between Benavidez and Bubu Andrade. If anybody knows if it's a set done deal, everything that I've looked up, everything that I've been searching for, it still doesn't seem like it is 100% quite yet. It seems like it might be getting there. It might be at 99.9%, but that is not 100% quite yet. D-Style, what do you make, man? Where do these two guys go from here?
Look, I want to see David Benavidez against Canelo next year in May. I think if he fights Boo Boo, I think Benavidez is going to destroy him. I feel very strongly about that. But I think it's a great fight. Benavidez, gotta go there. He's a pretty big dude, right? Like people keep making all these like they can't stop talking about Canelo being bigger than Charlo, but they don't say anything about Benavidez being a lot bigger than Canelo, right? He's going to be bigger than Canelo on fight night. He's a big dude. Like he's going to be like 190 pounds at night. And another thing about Benavidez, he has fast hands. He has a really good cardio. He has a really good stamina. And while I favor Canelo in the fight, I do believe Canelo will win. It's going to be very interesting, especially if Benavidez can take those bombs from Canelo and keep marching forward, and it gets past the 6th, 7th round. Right, because it's going to be a much faster pace, quite frankly, than a Charlo fight. And we could see that guys like Ryder, for example, have forced Canelo into exchanges, and that may or may not play to David's benefit. But I just think I have questions on how Canelo will do in the last 5-6 rounds of that fight. I have a lot of questions about that against a much bigger guy with a really good engine. I like I said, I'll favor Canelo in the fight, but it's interesting, and to me, it gives me like De La Hoya versus Vargas vibes. That's the type of vibes I get from this fight, so I think it'll be exciting. I think it's that fight, it's that mega fight that Canelo can get against a guy that is perceived as a threat, that's perceived as the boogeyman of the division, right? The Mexican monster, just because Mike Tyson said it. Well, if the one thing that Canelo's missing in his resume is the utter destruction of a nemesis. It's what he's missing in his resume, right? Kind of like Crawford did to Spence, something like that. He's missing that, and I think this is the fight where he'll get it. Quite frankly, because Salvador Sanchez had it against Wilfredo Gomez, right? I'm not comparing Wilfredo Gomez to Benavidez, but what I'm saying is he needs that nemesis that he destroys. Okay, he has some great wins, Canelo, but he didn't destroy Gennady Golovkin, right? He didn't annihilate like a lot of those guys. I think he could do it against David. David's style plays into Canelo's hands.
It does.
And as long as Canelo can, make it to the 12th, which I think he will, he should be fine. But there's that question though. There's that question. But another thing, everyone keeps bringing up the longer we wait, Canelo's getting older, yada yada yada. I actually think that the real hourglass isn't Canelo's age. The real hourglass, right, is Benavidez and his size being too big, and for how long can he actually make the weight? Right? He looks really good to me at the scale against Plant. He just didn't, and he's missed weight before. So how is he going to do if they fight next May? How comfortable is he at the weight? And if it's not till September or the year after, like the longer we wait on this fight, the less likely it is to happen, and the less of a chance Benavidez, not Canelo, has to win it, in my opinion.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Mikey.
Yeah, man. I like some of the points D-Style said, man. Yeah, if you look at his last video he uploaded, I'm talking about Benavidez. He looks big, dude. He looks like a cruiserweight. Talking about cruiserweight, Zurdo's gonna fight at cruiserweight. I don't know if you guys know that, but we'll talk about that next if we have time. But he looked huge, man. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a 168er. Yeah, and the much more time that passes, he's not gonna make weight. And then the Canelo beats him, they're gonna say, oh, he couldn't make weight. That's why Canelo beat him. So if Canelo fights him or he doesn't fight him, his critics are they're still gonna say that Canelo, oh yeah, he didn't fight Benavidez, but Canelo, man, he's top 20 all time. He got a belt at 160, then he moved to 175, got another belt, then he went undisputed at 168. That's Henry Armstrong type of numbers. This guy, he doesn't have nothing to prove. David Benavidez, we can't forget that he ducked the Cuban. What's the Cuban's name? He ducked. That's a duck.
David
He
Morrell?
should Morrell.
David
Why is he fighting Morrell? Why is he fighting Morrell? That's and then yes, on paper, what D Style said, it looks like David Benavidez is a guy, but who has he really fought? Who has he fought? He fought Canelo's leftovers plant. He didn't even knock him out, and he's a Mexican monster. Come on, this guy's tailor made for Canelo. His defense, it has a lot of holes. He has a lot of holes in his games, and yes, he throws combinations with little guys and guys that don't know how to counter, guys that are done versus tomato cans. I could do that. Dave could do. Oh, I'm not trying to talk trash about Dave, but you know, we all. It's like, how are you gonna do? You're fighting Canelo. Man, come on, dude. This guy, Canelo's gonna destroy this kid. He don't belong in the same ring with him. And if Canelo doesn't fight him, Canelo is top 20 of all time. Of all time, he don't need to fight him. He needs to. David Benavidez needs to fight Morrell. That's how I see it.
Okay, David. What?
You know what? I already said what I said. But you know what? That question from Putazos de Pendejadas, maybe D-Style can answer it. That's a good question.
Let's see.
So I consider rematch this.
When a no contest is next, fight considered a rematch since the first was no contest. What
is a fight considered, like, if they fight, do we call it a rematch? Yes, because they're fighting again.
Yeah, if it's a no contest, would it be considered a rematch? Yeah, I would say because they are fighting again. I get the no contest part. It's like, well, you know what? There's no winner, there's no loser, there's no draw, there's no anything like that. It's no contest. Look, I'm gonna say this. For both of these guys, man, nobody really even touched on Jermell, man. Nobody wants to see Jermell anymore. Dang. Okay, let me go ahead and set this and put this out there. Okay, in my fantasy perfect world, the way I would want for this to play out, and man, I'm gonna roll the dice on this one. Okay, let's see if this happens. Okay, first of all, everybody's looking past Bubu Andrade. All right, I'm not saying I favor him to beat Benavidez. Okay, if this fight gets made, all right, everything looks like everything's falling into place and that the fight will be made. Okay, but everybody's looking past Andrade. All right, that Benavidez is gonna beat Andrade, he's gonna beat him, and then everyone's already looking past him. All right, well, here's what I would say, man. Okay, if I was able to lay down the foundation, I would actually want Bubu Andrade to win the fight over David Benavidez in a somehow controversial decision, little bit, right? And then I would want Canelo to fight Bubu Andrade Cinco de Mayo next year. In the meanwhile, in the midst of all that, Benavidez comes out and has 2 fights, right? He has his comeback fight and possibly even fights Canelo-Charlo, right? Canelo-Charlo looking like he's a comeback against Jose Benavidez, man, at 160. Hey, everybody think what you want, think about that. But I would like David Benavidez to have 2 fights before next September, because this is what I'm leading up to. I do think Canelo would mop the floor with Bubu Andrade, which is fine. Good. That's what I want to see. In the midst of that, I want to see Benavidez jump back in the ring, say around February, fight somebody. Heck, I don't know, anybody, man. Just some sort of a comeback fight. Give him a little bit of an end.
Hey, Cholo, you want to see Canelo fight Bubu Andrade?
Yes.
Dude, that's not going to sell, man. I mean, you
Oh,
really think PBC is going to be able to sell that?
Look, it would sell because it's a Canelo fight. How much it sells is a different
story. Not even close, bro. I mean, Bubu Andrade, really? When was the last time he fought? I mean, that guy would tell me last time he fought. When was the last time he fought?
Oh,
and not only that, it's been a very long time. Not only that, I mean, not only that, I mean, and when he does fight, he puts everybody to sleep. You think people are going to pay for that? There's no way on earth, man.
Oh, yeah, man. People will pay for it.
No.
Because it's not Bubu Andrade that's selling the pay-per-view. It's Canelo. It's Canelo's
Yeah.
that sell the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
man. So that's what I would want to see. In the midst of that, David Benavidez fights 2 times. One of those fights either being David Morrell or Jamal Charlo. And then we see Benavidez versus Canelo September next year.
Yeah, no.
That's what I would want to see.
Es mucho pedo, no? The whole thing, like, it's just.
I'm lost. I'm lost. Who's on
It is.
first? Who's on second?
No. It is a lot. It is a lot. But
Oh,
that's
man.
the way I would want. That's how I would want it.
So you're telling me,
it's
like-
wishful thinking. Wishful thinking.
But like it's like wishful thinking, but like you're like you. So you in your wish, like you're wishing for Andrade versus Canelo. Like it's just that's what you want.
Crazy,
Like
man.
Yeah.
And if David Benavidez loses, I don't think he's gonna get the chance. Keep it real.
Okay, you know what? How about that? How about that? Because everybody is just saying that Benavidez is going to win. Let's say Bubu Andrade wins. Does he get the Canelo fight?
No.
Sure. Well, Canelo has to fight somebody. I mean,
I think Canelo might fight Crawford. That's a bag. That's a big money fight.
That's a big money.
Yeah, that's that as well, man. That as well. That's.
But I heard Canelo wants Vivo. I heard Canelo still wants Vivo.
He's got this PBC deal though, man. He's got to earn.
Okay.
Live up to his PBC
like
deal.
I think, like here's the thing. I think it's going to be Benavidez. I do think what should happen is if Benavidez fights Andrade, right?
Mm.
I believe the winner should get Canelo. That's just my opinion, right?
Okay.
If Bubu can actually beat Benavidez, which I doubt, but if he could pull that off, I mean, yeah, like people will start saying, hey, he beat the Mexican monster, that's what they're going to be saying. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you sell it. I mean, that's a tough sell, but they may very well do it. But I just don't think he's going to win, man. And it's not what I'm hoping for either.
I mean, Bubu Andrade is a southpaw. He is a southpaw. Benavidez doesn't have Benavidez. When is the last time Benavidez fought a southpaw? Does he have footwork? Does he have IQ? Has he been there before? We've never seen that with Benavidez when he has to fight with his feet positioning. When's the last time we've seen that?
Okay, but that's how you sell the fight. Bubu Andrade has to win. That's how the fight gets sold. Not the Bubu Andrade right now, but the Bubu Andrade that beats David Benavidez. Now you have a little bit more to sell.
So like if you found like a lamp or a genie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you rubbed it and genie comes out and he's like, whatever fight you want in May for Canelo. Like you're gonna say Bubu Andrade? Like that's the fight you're gonna pick?
No, not that far. Not that far. Because Because my payoff still has Canelo versus Benavidez. Just in September. I do want Benavidez to fight the likes of Jamal Charlo once Jamal Charlo has his, so-called comeback fight. And that could be his way back up. If Benavidez puts that win, 2 wins under his belt, then that fight sells next September, man. But
yeah, I think what they do is this: you do the Benavidez fight in May. If it's an exciting fight or controversial, or Benavidez was putting on Canelo, Canelo knocked him out, and then you do the rematch.
Yeah,
like I think
there's
that's
a 3-fight deal. 3-fight deal.
And if and let's say he stops Benavidez, and there's no need for a rematch, right? Then you could do the Crawford fight.
Hey, brother, are we going to talk about Zurdo or what, man?
That's man. Yeah. It's getting late, man. It's getting late. Hey, okay. Yeah, man. We're running it late on this one. Hey, so real quick, man, let's go ahead. Let's talk about the most electrifying man in all of boxing. One Mr. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez is fighting tomorrow, the most action-packed fighter ever against Joe Smith Jr. in a weird weight. They both weighed in today, I think, at 191.5 pounds. I think they both weighed in exactly. What weight is that? Don't know. But nonetheless, they're going to get it on, man. David, talk to us about this fight tomorrow, Holmes.
You know what? I got Joe Smith on this one. You know what? Zurdo Ramirez was exposed with Bivol. Zurdo Ramirez had what, 44-0. And you know what? He's gonna put us to sleep. He's gonna put us to sleep. I like Joe Smith. I'm surprised Joe Smith wanted to fight him at 191, at cruiserweight, basically. 191 when Joe Smith, he's a 178-pound fighter. And so is Zurdo, but I guess Zurdo can't make the weight anymore. Maybe this is a good paycheck for Joe Smith. I like Joe Smith on this one. I hope he knocks him out in the 4th, 5th round, because you know what? I'm not going to stay awake. Now they just changed it to a 12-round fight. I don't think I'll be awake at 1 o'clock in the morning watching Zurdo put me to sleep.
Wow, man. Hey, Mikey, you're talking about you want to see great footwork, great jab, great power, great defense, great speed. We're talking Zurdo Ramirez, man. I'll say you in this fight with Zurdo and Joe Smith Jr. tomorrow.
Man, to tell you the truth, I'm gonna go the opposite of Dave. I'm gonna go for Zurdo. Why?
Really?
Yeah, because like I said, I'd rather get a boxing lesson than get knocked the hell out. And we're gonna see if Beterbiev took a little bit of Smith's soul. We're gonna see how he reacts. He hasn't fought him over what, a year and a half or more. I counted the months real quick, and I had to come back to the channel because we're gonna go live. So he hasn't fought in like a year or something, and Zurdo hasn't fought like in 8 months after losing to the 2 champions. Zurdo lost to Bivol, and this guy Smith got knocked out by the other champion at 175, Beterbiev. But I'd rather get schooled. I'd rather get schooled than get knocked the hell out. He got knocked the hell out like 3 times, whatever. He got a nice beating while the fight lasted. So I like Zurdo. He's long. He has a good jab, but he couldn't compete versus Bivol. Like, goddamn, everything he did, he couldn't. His defense, nothing worked in that fight. But Zurdo he does have some skill, man. He's a southpaw. He has a good jab. He goes to the bottom. He's slow, but he's a big kid. He's a big guy. So if he can absorb Smith's power, because Smith has power, but it's at cruiserweight. I think Zurdo could beat him, man. I think he has better combinations. I think he has a better jab. I just think Zurdo's better. He's better in his footwork, and his IQ is a little bit better, I think. So I'm gonna give it to Zurdo decision. How about that?
Hey, real quick before I pass these down, Mikey, you'd rather be schooled like Errol Spence was schooled instead of getting knocked out the way Marquez knocked out Pacquiao?
No, Errol Spence wasn't schooled. They beat Errol Spence. They stopped the fight. I'm talking about how Floyd schooled Canelo like that. He didn't beat him. There's a difference between how Canelo said hard fights and what's the other word? Hard and whatever. Taking a beating and getting schooled. I'd rather get schooled than take a beating, because it takes your soul, man. You don't know how you're gonna fight the next fight. Look at Wilder. He's not the same. Look at Fernando Vargas versus Trinidad. He was never the same. I'd rather get a boxing lesson. You know what I'm saying? And Zurdo got a boxing lesson by Bivol. He didn't get hurt. Maybe I think once, whatever, but he didn't get dropped and got hurt. He just got schooled. He got slapped around. But Smith, Beterbiev, man, put a beating to him, dude. And when it comes to boxing, especially if Beterbiev hurts you, like, man, dude, I don't know how he's gonna come back.
Hey, look at Pacquiao. I mean, when he got knocked out by Marquez, I mean, we all thought he was dead, but he came back, became a champion again. So I mean,
but
both ways, you know what I mean? Not all the time.
After Marquez knocked him out, he was never knocking people out anymore. He didn't get a knockout. I don't know till when. And he fought Floyd.
Went up in weight, right? He went up in weight after that.
He fought. I think the last one he fought at 47. He fought at 47 versus Marquez, but he fought Floyd. He wasn't the same. When Floyd fought Cotto got knocked out twice by Margarito. He took a beating, and like, that's a beating. You see, I'd rather get schooled than take a beating. And then Pacquiao put a beating on Cotto. They had to stop the fight. Then he fought Floyd. Of course, he wasn't going to beat Floyd. He still gave Floyd a good fight, but that wasn't Cotto. That wasn't Cotto. Margarito and Pacquiao.
I'll just word it like this. What you're saying is you'll rather get outpointed than beat up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. All right. D-Style, what do you make about this fight, man, tomorrow?
I got Zurdo. I think Zurdo underrated jab. He's not gonna struggle to make the weight. He's gonna feel more comfortable at this weight. So is Joe Smith, by the way. Both of them are not they were not small light heavyweights. Joe Smith is dangerous. He could crack. People actually forget Joe Smith actually hurt Bivol late in their fight.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So he could crack. So if he catches Zurdo with a good one, you never know, right? So I'm not counting him out. But I think, look, I agree that Zurdo, watching him fight sometimes, it's like watching paint dry, 100%. But Joe Smith is a type of fighter that he's going to basically make the fight exciting. Because Joe Smith has one gear. He comes at you, like, you know what I mean? And I think Joe Smith is going to do his part to make the fight exciting. Because in order for him to win, he needs to bring it against Zurdo. He's going to have to pressure him. He's going to have to land his bombs. I think Zurdo's he's more textbook. The jab, the straight left, good body shot. I think he'll wear him down. And I think Zurdo should win a decision. And I think people are going to be surprised. I think it's going to be an exciting fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me say this, man. Zurdo, to me, there's nothing good that he does. I'll tell you the two good qualities that he has. He's a southpaw and he's big. That's it. I don't really see any good qualities that this guy got, man. Okay, but see, here it is though now. Joe Smith is moving up in weight. But in the same token, so is Zurdo, right? It's not like he's been fighting up there for quite a while. He's actually even flirting around. He's been talking a little bit about possibly even going to heavyweight, at some point. Do I think there's gonna be an exciting fight? I think it's gonna be more exciting than other Zurdo fights. Yes. Okay. Do I think it's gonna be a barn burner? Probably not, but I think it's gonna be entertaining enough to keep the audience captivated. Who do I got winning the fight, man? I do like Joe Smith Jr. I've never really been a fan of Zurdo. I kind of want, regardless of who wins, I'm not really sure where anybody goes from here. Like what is this fight for? The winner is gonna take on who? Which way? What direction are they going? If Joe Smith Jr. wins, cool. But now, where do I want to see him at? Don't know. If Zurdo wins, cool. Where do I want to see him? I'm not even really sure. I'm just kind of gonna enjoy this fight for what it is. If I had to pick a winner, I'm gonna pick Joe Smith. However, because Zurdo was a big 175 pounder, and now they're moving up all this weight. He was already a big dude. He's probably gonna be able to absorb Joe Smith's punches because that's one of the good qualities he had. He was a big guy at 175 where he can take some pretty good punches. So I will give him that. I could see it going either way, but if I had to pick a winner, I'll go with Joe Smith.
Hey, Cholo, what do you think about Beck the Bully? He's fighting. He's on the undercard. I'm looking forward to that fight. And also Eric Tador. He's here out of Fort Lauderdale. That's another. This kid is undefeated. He's been fighting really good. But Beck the Bully, I'm looking forward to that fight. It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, Beck the Bully is always fun to watch. Some people love him. Some people hate him, man. But yeah, man. Listen, Chingones, we ran a little bit long, but it was all right, man. There was still a lot of things to get into. Damn it, we'll get into it in another one, man. Hopefully, a lot of questions are answered over the weekend because a lot of things are just kind of speculation and rumors. And Bob Arum and Oscar de la Hoya taking a picture together, saying we're gonna have Tio versus Ryan next year, possibly. We don't know. It's just all thrown out there, but we'll see what is made of all of that, man. Anything else, gentlemen, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I really hope Zurdo, if he wins, that he puts more bass in the Viva Mexico cabrones, like because he's doesn't do it. You know what I mean? He's like, nomás quiero decir Viva Mexico. You know, it's just like,
And get his hat and throw it into the audience, Holmes, while he
yeah,
does that.
something like do it a little more. You know, put some oomph in it. I'm just saying.
Más macho. Más macho.
All right, man. Hey, gracias for everybody tapping in. That is my boy David Contreras. That is Mike Zavala. That is D Style from D Style Boxing. Cholo Truck, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back and do it again. We'll catch you guys on next round.
Peace.